Charged with crimes now have an alternative to the traditional court system. We have Kelly Winship here and also Joshua Boley, and they're going to tell us a little bit about how this works. Kelly, let's start with you. Well, tell us what this program is and really what it means for veterans.
So a veterans court is a special court system that is designed to provide veterans that have substance abuse and or mental health problems. It gives them the opportunity to engage in treatment services as opposed to incarceration and serving time in prison.
This is an important issue, especially with so many people returning from, war and transitioning into life here. And how does it work? So what's different about that court versus the Veterans Court?
So the Veterans Court provides an avenue for the court system to work very closely with treatment providers such as the Kansas City VA, with probation and parole, with law enforcement, with volunteer mentors, and with other community providers to provide a veteran with tools in order to help them reestablish themselves into the community, living a crime-free lifestyle as a protective citizen.
So Joshua, let's turn to you. You have actually experienced that transition. You had, what, 3 tours of duty? Tell me about that.
Yeah, I did 2 tours to Iraq and then 1 to Afghanistan in 4 years. And then I got out, and the transition was rough for me, and I ended up running into the legal system. And there wasn't no VA court when I went into it at the beginning, and it was help. I mean, it was problems me getting help.
Right, and so being in traditional court system, I mean, was it just cut and dry? Here's what you did. This is
right, and really no assistance in getting back on track. And then the VA court really gets that team together and helps with your transition and finding the resources that you need to get the knowledge to really do so.
So tell us a little bit about what's happening for you right now, how VA court is assisting you.
They come up with things that I needed to do related to PTSD and treatment towards that, and things that I really didn't understand with things that were affecting me and making that transition into civilian life.
So for you, what do you think about this VA court? I mean, do you think this is an answer for veterans who...
I think it's going to save a lot of veterans' lives.
Wow.
I think it's like one of those warning signs that you see about veterans that are falling into the legal system that need assistance, and the VA with helping with that and them getting there.
And so we're first of all, as well, thank you for your service. And so you feel like your life is getting back on track and you're kind of headed in the right direction?
Yep. I feel like I'm getting the proper assistance I needed to make that transition back into civilian life that I wouldn't have got without the VA court.
People really don't understand the transition from military war to regular civilian life. What is that? How can you even describe it for us?
It's just hard to, when you come back, it's just hard to relate, and it's really hard to get grounded, if you will, get your feet on the ground. Everything hits you that's happened over your deployments, and you're really in a deep thought process of trying to figure out how to get your life back to how it was prior to the military, or just how to figure out how to work with what you have now.
So you feel good now?
Yeah, I feel a lot better now.
That's great. We're really glad about that. So what's next for this VA court?
Well, we're very excited right now. We have 3 courts in the Kansas City area. We have our Kansas City Municipal Court, our Jackson County State of Missouri Court, and our Clay County State Court. But we are kicking off the first ever Kansas Veterans Treatment Court January 13th, 2016. So now we're going to be serving the veterans that are on the Kansas side.
Is there a great demand and need? I mean, are you really serving a lot of veterans through this?
Oh, there is. Yeah, there absolutely is.
How many do we know? Or
well, in our Missouri courts, we have about 80 active participants in the courts.
Wow.
We're always getting requests from other judicial systems to start and implement a veterans court.
All right, so there is a demand, and quickly before we go, we have to talk about how can then a veteran who may be hearing this, or a relative who has a veteran that needs assistance and help, how can we get them into this court versus traditional court?
Contact their local VA. Ask for the Justice Outreach Coordinator. We work on educating attorneys, defense attorneys, on these options for their clients, but contact the VA.
All right, sounds really good. Kelly, thanks for being here. Thank you again for your service and for being here and sharing your story. We're glad you're doing great.
Thank you.